James Cameron speaks out about an Alita Battle Angel sequel and his hopes to revive the franchise a few weeks after he and Rodriguez swore a blood oath to bring a new movie to theaters.
Hey, let's make another Alita film. Blood oath.
Let's do it.
Right?
Blood oath right here.
We'll give you the details on what he says about Alita's future. Is this the time for Disney to greenlight the sequel now that Avatar 2 is making mega money? We know what Alita Army wants, and their efforts have caught the eye of John Landau, who absolutely loves it.
And there's an ad from the Alita Army in color. Alita Army, way to go! Keep it up. Thank you. Keep it up.
We'll deep dive into all the details as well as look into Avatar's numbers to see exactly where it will end up at the end of its run. What's up, guys? Doc Ito here with an Alita update. Remember to like and subscribe for free repairs. While it's been a while since my last video, Alita Army is still going strong, and our desire for an Alita sequel is only growing. With the success of Avatar, I wanted to give you an update on the recent goings-on to encourage everyone to keep fighting for a sequel and throw my support behind the Avatar movie. At the end of the video, I'll give you a personal update as well on this channel. In an interview a couple days ago on the Business Podcast with Kim Masters, Cameron spoke about streaming as a content format and brought up Alita Battle Angel. While he prefers the theatrical format, he does see some benefits to streaming, letting you do a deeper dive into a movie and into a story that one is trying to tell, which led into a discussion of Alita Battle Angel. Let's hear what he had to say.
And I like working with other filmmakers, like I did with Robert Rodriguez on Battle Angel Alita, which I thought came out beautifully. It didn't quite make enough money to make everybody grinning from ear to ear, but we may revisit that IP. We hope to anyway.
So there are his words. He hopes to revisit Alita Battle Angel. Now, this did come after a discussion of streaming, so it's possible that he is considering behind the scenes with Disney perhaps having a Disney streaming series with Alita, which is something we've considered throughout our push for an Alita sequel. Of course, we would love to see a sequel itself, not just a streaming series. But the fact that these discussions are going on and that the producers continue to bring up Alita is very encouraging, as was this interview for a few weeks ago where Rodriguez and Cameron were discussing Alita.
Hey, let's make another Alita film. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do that. Fans
all right.
More.
Blood oath.
Let's do it.
Right?
Blood oath right here.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
So it's clear that they are very interested in making another Alita movie. And of course, Alita Army has been continuing the fight with hashtag Alita Army trending on Twitter, even in this new year. Hashtag Alita Army. And in the fall, Alita Army also raised funds to take out an ad in the Los Angeles Times supporting an Alita sequel. John Landau tweeted how he arrived in LA and found the ad thanking Alita Army for it. And in addition to this, in a recent interview, he brings this fact up as well.
I do have to ask. I was going to save this for the end, but you think you'll ever go back to the world of Alita?
I hope we will. Robert and I had a conversation about it 2 weeks ago. We're very excited about that prospect. Alita is a movie that even now, having recently rewatched it we're really proud of that movie, and we think that there are more stories to tell with her character, and that's why we want to go back to it.
Interesting. Well, I hope so. I know there's a huge army of fans for that one.
I know. I love Alita Army.
Yeah.
Way to go! Keep it up. Can I tell you a funny story? I went back.
So clearly encouraging the Alita supporters. Sorry, I paused it at a bad time there. Where Landau is encouraging us to continue to fight for an Alita sequel. And here he goes into the story about the newspaper ad.
Los Angeles. I've been in New Zealand for quite some time, and I went back to Los Angeles over the summer. And the day I was there, the first day back, I opened the Los Angeles Times, and there's an ad from the Alita Army in color. And I was like, there you go. Thank you. Keep it up.
They're fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
I love it. You mentioned Alita, I do have to
So
ask.
clearly they are encouraging us to continue to fight for an Alita sequel. And as the ad says, tweet hashtag Alita sequel, visit alitaarmy.org, sign the petition, and encourage your friends to see the movie if they haven't already. And I do believe another way to support Alita is to support Avatar 2. And as the movie continues to make money, this will help not only give a green light to the Avatar sequels, but also shows how, again, James Cameron is unlike other directors and overcomes expectations that may be below what he thinks he is capable of. all the haters who said Avatar would not be successful have now been proved wrong, as Way of Water is a great financial success, and personally, I really enjoyed the movie as well. So Cameron has done it again, creating a world that people want to revisit and will now revisit for the movies to come. And hopefully all that will translate into an Alita sequel as Rodriguez, Landau, and Cameron continue to openly discuss their desire to make one. So as of right now, Way of Water has made $1.7 billion worldwide and over $500 million in the US, currently sitting at number 16 in the US for a domestic haul and number 7 worldwide. Getting the four numbers is hard to predict, but right now at 1.2 million, it should overtake Infinity War and probably Titanic. I don't think it's getting up to Avengers Endgame or the original Avatar numbers internationally, but it could. But we're looking at probably at least 1.5 million to be the third highest foreign movie of all time. Now, let's check the domestic numbers where we get dailies, and that's easier to predict. So I'm pulling out the Excel sheet that we all fondly remember from the original Alita box office run. So far, Way of Water in blue is running pretty much where the original Avatar release was running. If you look, it had a bigger opening couple days, but since then has been pretty much exactly the same, which is very good. Currently, Way of Water is sitting at 516 million overall, and the original Avatar was at 430 million at this time point. With Avatar the first finishing around 750 million, you would actually think, since we're at 20% higher right now, it could finish 20% higher as well, putting the total around 900 million. With less competition in the early part of this year, this is definitely a doable number. Now let's compare it to Top Gun Maverick, the other movie it was often compared to. You can see Way of Water and Maverick are pretty much neck and neck, with Way of Water taking a lead right now over Top Gun Maverick, which at the same time period had about 467 million, having finished its run at 718. I do think Avatar Way of Water has more rewatchability compared to Maverick, so I suspect it will have a higher multiplier than it, putting it at least in the 800 to 900 million dollar range, but we will see. The last comparison I'll do here is Avatar in orange, Way of Water in blue, and Avengers Endgame in gray. If you looked, Avengers Endgame had a really big lead on the original Avatar, but that really disappeared quite a bit by the end. These are domestic numbers. So if you suspect that Way of Water is trending above the original Avatar in every way, you would think that these curves could actually cross at some point, leading to a higher overall domestic gross for Way of Water compared to Endgame. So I do think probably that will happen. We'll probably get about 850 to 900 million for Way of Water. Perhaps it could even overtake Force Awakens at 936 million, with maybe a 1.5 to 2 billion foreign gross, putting the movie ultimately right around the Titanic or a little bit higher. So I suspect the movie's going to finish in the top 3 when all is said and done. And of course, we're hoping that this blood oath that Cameron and Rodriguez have sworn to make Alita Battle Angel 2 does come to fruition, especially with the large box office success of Avatar. However, with all these Avatar movies to make, it is possible that a movie would not actually be done, an Alita sequel would not actually come to fruition until perhaps 2, 3, 5 years from now, when Weta and Landau all have time in between or after the Avatar sequels to film it. So potentially there could be some streaming series before the full sequel. Perhaps we'll get a streaming series during the Avatar sequels, leading to a full Alita sequel once the Avatar sequels are done. This is just speculation on my part, but considering how movie making is and the state of the world now with cinema, I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that does take place in that prescribed fashion. Of course, continue to sign the petition and fight for an Alita sequel, as we've seen how Alita Army has been encouraging Landau and others in their push for a sequel, with Landau showing our support to Disney to argue that we need a second movie. So a big shout out to Alita Army and the successes that they've had supporting the sequel. And here's Landau's post on Instagram. Personally, I know I haven't had a video posted in several years now. Many people have been asking how I am and things of that nature. Everything is fine. Personal life has just been quite busy, and as Alita said, it's all or nothing with me, and to a certain extent, I resonate with that. I still have an intense desire for an Alita sequel and will support Alita Army and the movie. I just haven't been able to dedicate the time necessary to be active on Twitter and make these videos. As I've mentioned in the past, every video like this takes hours and hours of preparation and editing. I know others are able to make videos much quicker, but for me, I haven't been able to figure out how to do that, as it is in many ways all or nothing. I don't know what the future will hold. I don't anticipate posting videos daily or weekly or perhaps even monthly going forward, but perhaps I'll be posting a video more often than just once a year. And I might post some Avatar content or non-Alita content in my second channel, which I've also not posted anything at for a few years. So the future is hard to predict, but I want to thank everyone for all of your great support over the years, and most importantly for your support for Alita. I've always tried to be a positive voice in the community and will encourage Alita Army to do the same, to fight with love and respect for one another and for other fandoms. As Jesus said in the Golden Rule, treat others the way you want to be treated. So I wish everyone well. It's great to be able to give you an update, and hopefully we'll have great news in the coming year. May you all have a happy new year, stay safe, God bless, and have a great day.